Hello, guys. Thank you for being here for the first edition of Amateur Spirit. I'm very glad to have you tonight for this testing session. Just a quick reminder for the audience. As you know, the principle of Amateur Spirit is that a small jury, you guys, from around the world, meets online and tests blindly from several samples, all the same spirits, of course, and reach an agreement together for which is the most exceptional and will be bottled. So the first jury chose an Armagnac, the second a Cognac, and the last Amateur Spirit bottling was Fin d'Alsace. So now let's go back to an Armagnac and a Bas-Armagnac. I tried to find Tenares for you, but I found a great Bas-Armagnac, so let's do it. Maybe you can introduce yourself. Tonight we have Djurre, Chris, and Pavel. Who wants to begin?
Okay, I will go first.
Pavel?
Go. Me?
Yes.
Okay.
Who are you?
So let's go. So I am 45 and I am in alcohol or spirit world since my 20s. And before I mostly was addicted to whiskey. At the time, whiskey prices are really, really high. So I switched to rum. And now I am in the way to exploring Armagnac because, you know, rum and Armagnac tastes are pretty similar. So, and I am pretty strict. I think many people, many auditors know that I do not rate rums with high marks, with high numbers. So let's see how it works in Armagnac world.
And you know, now rum is too expensive, like whiskey. So now it's time to go to Cognac and Armagnac.
Yeah, definitely. Armagnac is even cheaper, but still, the whiskey world is about 10k euros. Rum world is about, or good rums is about 1k euros or 1000 euros. And definitely Armagnac is way less, something like 200 euros per grape bottle.
Okay, thank you. Djurre, Chris?
Yeah, I will take it over. I'm Djurre Van Kouwen from the Netherlands. My journey in spirit started with rum because my uncle was working at a big rum blender in Amsterdam. So I tasted at young age. I tasted with my father already a little bit, and I liked it very much in flavor. Later I went to whiskey and discovered in the latest 10 years Armagnac. Visited also Armagnac region now for 3 times, and we are still exploring the region in taste and enjoyment.
Okay.
Chris, take it over.
Yeah, sure. My name's Chris Bobby. I'm from the United States. I got into spirits first from sort of in the cocktail world. I was living in Boston at the time and was regularly attending one of the sort of the first speakeasy 1920s style cocktail bars in the country in Boston, and you know, just start talking to the bartenders about different types of spirits and the bases that go into it. And so got into bourbon like most Americans. And then as that got very expensive, kind of moved to Scotch. And so I guess I'm a bit of a refugee, kind of moving from expensive overpriced product to the next. But then, you know, I've worked my way into rum, Cognac, Armagnac, and have been sort of enjoying those for several years now. So I'm very excited to be part of this.
Yeah. Thank you. So just a reminder how to choose the winner tonight. So you have 3 samples, 1, 2, 3, and first you have so the first round you have to select the 2 bitters, and in the second round, of course, you have to repeat the tasting and to select the best of the best. So let's begin by the number one. If you are ready. So before, cheers, guy. And let's get started. I'm going to test with you, but I'm going to say nothing. It will be your choice. And sometimes I'm not totally agree with the jury, but hey, you choice. It's your choice. It's not mine.
The first on the nose, the first thing I'm picking up is some sort of strong wood varnish, like a hint of like acetone, but almost like yeah, like a wood varnish kind of smell. It's nice. It's a little mustiness too, almost like an old library, sort of old books.
Yes, the nuttiness is after the wood. After the wood smell is the nuttiness. The second smell that is bringing to my nose. I love Armagnacs with a lot of fruitiness in it, but I try to find it in this, but it's not in the first and the second smell.
Yeah, I do get that nuttiness that you mentioned. It's almost like it's like a buttered cashews. Like if you took like cashews and put them in a pan and sort of with some butter and cooked them down a little bit. It's kind of that adding that fattiness to it, nutty, fatty kind of quality.
I need to say that the smell when I open the sample bottle is totally different than now when the alcohol is open in a glass. Because when I opened this bottle, this was definitely my favorite because I smell sherry with leather. But if it get open in that glass, I smell wood, some fruity, maybe a little bit cherry also.
Yeah, I pick up, like, as I smell it more, I am getting more of the fruits, but they're less. Yeah, like I get some cherry and it's a lot of dried, darker fruits. Like I'm not, as you might expect from more of an Armagnac, I'm not getting obviously like tropical or kind of fresh orchard fruits. It's more like dried dates and plums. And like
definitely red or dark dried fruit.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of a PX sherry kind of profile at the end there that I'm smelling.
Yeah, the strong wood flavors are going down now. So they are less intensive as they were in the first smell now. So now the secondary smell and the other smells are coming forward.
It's quite nice though. I mean, I like this profile personally. I like that it has the mix of leather, wood, a little bit of acetone, a little bit of old books, almost like a Rancio quality with the nuttiness and the woody, leathery, and then you get a touch of those dried fruits. So I quite like this one, actually, at least for my tastes. It's kind of what I like in sort of a classic Armagnac.
But you're definitely correct. I smell a lot of acetone in the beginning, but now it disappeared.
Yeah.
I smell almost nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely, I know with some air, it's definitely gone away.
This is a really good one for Christmas time.
Yes. When I first smelled it, like when I opened the bottle for a little preview, I wrote down some notes, and one of them was sort of like Christmas spices. And I'm still getting that a little bit, I think, as it opens up, sort of like I get some clove, maybe even like orange peel, some ginger. Yeah, I mean, I
Has
think
some,
it,
has
a lot going on.
has notes you are always recognized from the glue wine.
Mm.
I don't know if you know it from the US, that you are drinking at Christmas time a blue wine.
Blue wine?
What is blue wine?
Blue wine. Blue wine is wine with, they put a lot of stuff in it. So it is not officially wine. But it's very rich of flavors in spices, and you drink it hot. So you warm it up and then you drink it.
Yeah. In France, it's vin chaud, hot wine.
Yeah, we have in the US like mulled wine, where it's like wine but with like spice, like you put like cinnamon spice in. Yeah, and you drink it hot. Yeah, I do get that flavor too.
I get now the flavors if you open a cookie box, you make it open, and the aromas of dough cookies.
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough, yeah. And a small hint of a grape, a lemon kind of. There's starting some freshness in it.
So there are lots of stuff in it. It's a complex nose.
Yeah, I would say it's. I would definitely agree with that. Like I get a lot of different profiles, but I do think, like if I were to, like I think like Djurre said, like if I were to, like thematically, to me this is like a Christmas. It's very Christmassy. It's like very good for this time of year. It's yeah. Like
I still feel the. Sorry, I still feel their brown, dried apricots, maybe dates, maybe little bit of cherry. Yeah, definitely dried fruit for Christmas.
Yeah.
Definitely just a few of spice, maybe orange peel, maybe, but just a little.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The spiciness in the nose is growing.
Okay, let's go for tasting.
Yeah, I like that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I definitely get like a dark cherry syrup, like a maraschino cherry kind of. And I definitely get those spices. Clove, ginger, a little cinnamon.
Yeah, that are the very wood-driven flavors.
Yeah. But did you say
what do you smell this? What do you feel on your tongue? Definitely brown dried fruit. It is compared, just in my point of view, if you like Demerara and rum, this is nice one, but more fruity and less sugar, definitely. And the most similar rum, in my point of view, is La Favorite Flibuster, if you know that rum.
Yeah, definitely more of a Demerara style rum for sure. Molasses based, if you were to compare it to another spirit, for sure. Got that rich woodiness.
The taste of wood is stronger in the mouth than in the nose.
That's true. Yeah, the first you taste combined wood and leather, just a little bit. It disappeared after 2 seconds, 1 and 2 seconds, and you get the full taste of dried brown or red fruit.
Yeah.
With long tail.
Yeah. I definitely get a lot of that woodiness in the finish. A little bit of that wood varnish that carries through at the end, long finish, like you said. And yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of a combination of spice and like some of those darker Christmas time spices, and then some of the woodiness and the dark fruit, dried fruit not like a fresh fruitiness, but very dried profile. Yeah. I quite like it.
This Armagnac is very good for wood-driven lovers.
Yeah.
If you have a wood-driven whiskey, then the same people will like this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not getting like a lot of sour notes or anything like you sometimes get. Like I think of French oak, like some rums that are aged in French oak, you get that sour kind of mouth puckering, sour wood lemon. I don't get that here. It's more of a full, like you said, like a Demerara rum kind of profile, rich wood. Yeah. Like even like a little cane sugar. It's like a kind of a nice rich sweetness that I get at the sort of in the mid palate.
You're right, and that's what I like, because I hate sour taste, and this is definitely what I like. So I got my favorite.
The nose is changing completely. I don't recognize the smell that we had in the beginning, and it's completely changing. The cookies are disappearing now. It's getting fresher and fresher. There's more with citric notes.
Do you still taste the blue wine or smell the blue wine?
No, not anymore. The spiciness is disappearing, and it's getting now more flavors of fruitiness. The dried fruit is now coming more towards.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is that more to your liking, that the shift in profile?
If I could look to my tasting profile, yes, I like fruitiness. I search always in every drink. I search for the good balance between wood and fruit. So you get fruitiness, you get spiciness.
Yeah, I definitely think people would like this if they like if they're coming from American whiskey or molasses rum, this would be a great Armagnac to sort of introduce them to the spirit. It would be a great something they're used to, but it's not the exact same, but it comes from that profile that they may have liked before. Does it remind you? I know, Djurre, you're very into Armagnac. If you could guess like where, like a producer that this reminds you of, does any come to mind, or is it hard to pinpoint?
It's very hard because every cask is so unique.
Yeah.
I ever ask a producer, can you give a signature to your Armagnac? And they say it is impossible. That over years you can recognize a certain signature in a range. It's nearly impossible. With an assemblage blending, you can reach a certain amount of recognition. But from a single cask, every cask is so unique. It's totally depending where it is laying in the warehouse. Is there sunlight? Is there air in the cellar?
Mm-hmm.
Is it wet or not? It's all magic happening in the cellar.
Yeah. So it's so hard to say. That's a good yeah.
It's totally different from rum. If you have a Caribbean rum, it is hot, and the humidity is very different. You lost more than 10% a year. So you can't compare a rum of 5 year with a 5-year Armagnac.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah. I do get some of that.
And this is definitely not a 5-year-old Armagnac. It is more in the range. It's more in the range of 30, 40, maybe even 45 years old.
Mm-hmm. Some of the and I feel like, I don't know, for me, and I'm not an expert and he probably even as knowledgeable, nowhere near as knowledgeable as you, but like to me, the spice level that I'm getting, which is nice, is that sort of warm spices. I guess to me I would associate that more with a drier cellar, but in terms of my experience, but I could be completely wrong. I just sometimes when you have more of a humid cellar, in my experience, you get the proof seems a little higher because of that sort of spiciness I'm getting. And it's not alcoholic. I'm not getting like alcohol on it, but it is that sort of that heat and spice that to me suggests maybe a higher proof and maybe a warmer cellar, but I can't be too sure. But I am getting a lot of the mustiness on the finish.
And not every producer has a wet or a dry cellar.
Yeah.
Maybe. And Chris, does it remind you an Armagnac?
It doesn't. I think you said it was Bas-Armagnac. It's not Tenerez.
Bas-Armagnac.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't taste like at least in my experience, the Tenerez, I have like a certain farmy funkiness. Like I can't describe it, but the best way I can say is it's like a farmy, funky quality that I don't get in this. So I definitely, if I were to try it, I would say, well, it's a Bas-Armagnac, probably not a Tenerez, at least from what I've tried. It almost reminds me of some of those like L'Encantadas, like the Lupibu sort of La Salle casks that came out and were very popular among the American palate because it was very similar to sort of the Demerara rums and the bourbons and the Foursquare rums that, the American palate really likes. It does have that quality to me of those sort of early L'Encantada casks that caught on fire in the US. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't really get to me, it's like a very straightforward. It's complex, but it doesn't have sort of farmy or funky or again, a little mustiness on the finish, but it has sort of a very direct profile to me. And I guess that's why I placed it in sort of those bourbon crossover Armagnacs. And it doesn't really have maybe some of, I don't know, I guess other Armagnacs I like are the Orançon, the Le Baron. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but it doesn't have that kind of funky quality to it, at least the way I taste it, but it's good. I really like it.
Okay, so it's a good way to begin.
Yeah.
Are you okay with this number one?
I really like it.
Yes, I keep.
We can go to the number two now, if you are ready.
Yeah. Drink some water.
Again.
Cheers.
Cheers, prepare.
This is already smelling very different.
It's less expressive than the first one. The first one showed a lot of wood in the first nose. This one is showing a little bit of spiciness, not very much.
Yeah.
It's getting more a nose of dried fruit.
When I open the sample bottle, I smell just prunes and nothing. When I put it in the glass, it gets opened, and now the smell is pretty mild. It is definitely not aggressive. You need to find the taste is in there. So I smell still prunes, herbal, something.
Definitely a little more closed off. I'm almost picking up a little bit of I guess if we're talking again comparison spirits, this to me, at least on first sniff, is more like an agricole rum a little bit than a molasses. I get kind of some of that rock candy, cane sugar off of this.
But Chris, you know what? You definitely do not smell any acetone in there.
No, I don't get that wood varnish, which disappeared. It's a little fresher.
I think that this Armagnac is a little bit higher in ABV than the previous one.
Hmm.
If you take a dip sniff from your nose is tinkling more in your nose than the first one. Sometimes with whiskey you can shake it, and if you see the bubbles in your glass, then you see then you know that you have a higher ABV whiskey.
Huh. I did not know that. Yeah, I'm getting like, I mean, I'm personally getting, it's not strong, but as I smell it more, I'm almost picking up, I don't know, like a slight hint of like almost a pineapple juice, like a lemon, lime, I don't know, like a bit, like some acidic fruits. And maybe it's not strong, but I get that a little when I really try to dig for it. It's definitely more of a closed off nose.
I can understand your reference with the tropical notes. It's not for me not the stone fruits.
Yeah.
I have sometimes the reference of a bit of a cooked pineapple. If you heat up the pineapple.
Yeah.
I just remind myself, if you combine prunes and banana, it smells for me like the similar.
Yeah, but is it then a raw banana, or is the bacon banana, or is the what kind of banana?
I need to find any banana. I smell banana in there, but
I like the prune banana. That might be a new. We got to get an agricultural scientist to figure out how to make that. That's good. This definitely has like I get like almost like a rock sugar, kind of like a raw cane sugar too. Definitely like a sweeter kind of nose to me, like some like confectioner rock sugar.
Definitely no smoke, no leather, and I smell some sweetness in there.
Yeah, I definitely get that sweetness.
If you take a sip now, you are amazed. In combination with the smell, it's swirling in your mouth of different. It's hitting the different areas in your mouth. It's in front of your mouth. It is you feel it in your low. It is a low drinking taste, but it is swirling around your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet, definitely.
Yeah. I definitely pick up on that banana too. To me, it's more of a, when you ask sort of what kind of banana, I almost get more of a green, like very fresh banana. It's not like a stewed banana like you get, or like a rotten banana like you get on those like Hampton rums. It's like more of a green banana.
The spiciness of cinnamon is now also hitting my nose.
I'm sorry, but when I taste it, I stop smelling anything at the moment because it is so intense in my mouth, especially on the side of the tongue and on the tip of the tongue. It is pretty intense.
Yeah. I'm definitely picking up like it's similar to the nose. Like when I taste it, I mean, I'm getting some of that sweet sugar kind of cane syrup. I'm getting the same fruits like green banana, pineapple, a little bit of lemon. And I'm also getting a little bit of like, if you've ever had like ginger ale or like Sprite, like a soda that's like, not like a dark soda, but like a clear, like a like a lighter soda, almost in that sweet sense.
Yeah. You just take a pour and hold it 7 seconds in your mouth. Not chewing, just hold it. Spiciness all over. Wood is climbing in your mouth.
Yeah, I get like,
it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I get like yeah, when I do that, I do get that spiciness, like a ginger, almost like that spicy ginger kind of quality. It's very different from the first. Oh, go ahead.
The first sample was definitely like a punch in the face. It was so direct, and you know all the tastes. Here in this sample, you need to taste again and search for another taste that is inside.
Yeah, and this one, like, they're very different to me. Like the first one, like we said, was more of a Demerara rum kind of quality, a wood heavy. This one is definitely a bit fresher, spicier, sweeter, more of, like I said, like I still, on the taste, I get more of an agricole rum comparison than a sort of a Demerara rum, or like a molasses rum.
Yes, I agree, definitely. But still, agricole is pretty sour. This sample is definitely not so sour.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You definitely get some agricoles that have that lemon puckering wood, French wood sourness. And I've had some that agricoles that don't always have that note to a high degree. And this reminds me more of those flavors for sure. I don't get that either, that sourness. How do you like this compared to the last one, Djurre?
They are totally different.
Yeah.
The first one was very wood driven. The second has far more fruitiness in it. If you keep it longer in your mouth, it is more spicier, and it has a stronger profile in your mouth, with different kinds of flavors. Also wood, but also spiciness. A totally different Armagnac. Where I think that it is when I taste it, it is higher in ABV than the first one.
Would you
place a stronger nose, a stronger mouth?
Would you place it as being younger for that reason, or than the first one?
Based on tasting, I would say yes, but it does not have to say anything.
Yeah.
Because I tasted an 1895, so a more than 100 years Armagnac. Then you don't say it is more than 100 years. So it is, yes, in general, you can say you can judge an Armagnac on the taste profile, but it totally depends on how long they put the Armagnac in a first fill cask and how long they did stay in a second, third, fourth, fifth fill, because you only want oxidation then.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There are Armagnac producers that let it stay the whole life in the first fill cask. Then you get a very strong wood-driven Armagnac.
Mm-hmm.
There are Armagnac producers that don't use a first fill, only use second fill casks. So you get more a food-driven Armagnac.
Mm-hmm.
So you can decide with your casks how long do you want to preserve, because you are generating Armagnac for the next generation. So if the father is producing, and nowadays you see a lot of daughters taking over the company, more than males. I see a lot of women are operating the distillery now, and that's good. But if the father produced an Armagnac and it is laying there for 30, 40 years, the daughter is selling it, not the father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I definitely. It definitely. Yeah, it is so different. I mean, I keep. I mean, yeah, it suggests the woodiness is just so much lower than the first one, and it definitely has more of like, yeah, I'm still getting a lot of that green banana, that pineapple, that sort of rock sugar, that spiciness. Um, they're both good. I like them both a lot. Personally, I think I would drink the first one a little bit more often, and maybe it's because of what I like and what I'm used to drinking. But they're both really good.
Have you done this? Yes, Pavel?
I think the first one you are able to just put in your glass anytime, in the long evenings and so on. The second one would be nice to combine with food because it is less aggressive and you are able to drink a lot of it. You definitely don't need to wait because the taste is mild. Okay, at the moment I got the sample number 3 in my glass. So
keeping us on task. I like it.
Okay,
You're on
cheers
speed.
again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Again, yeah, wow.
These are a bit the sour notes in it.
Yeah, I'm getting the first thing I'm picking up is like a burnt caramel and kind of like a sour orange juice. It's just what comes to my mind for some reason.
I smell a bit of orange peel.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that too. Definitely that.
Orange peel you can get most often by one grape, Folle Blanche.
Really?
Yeah. Folle Blanche is a grape, and I know Aurélien is also loving it because one of his bottles was a very old Folle Blanche. Also very enjoyable.
Yeah,
you know what I smell in here? When I open the bottle, the sample of the bottle with the sample, first I smell it, and it was pretty strong smell. That is compared to when you walk on the street during late summer, and there are rotten apples on the concrete. That was the first smell I get from the sample bottle. It was similar smell. Now it disappeared, and I pour it into the glass, but still.
Interesting. Like, are the apples? Have they just fallen, or have they laid on the ground for a while?
No, they lay on the ground for days, maybe weeks.
They've been stepped on, and they've been rotting in the sun. Yeah, it sounds like we all kind of pick up on like a sour fruitiness almost. I mean, at least.
That's it. Sour. I definitely smell sour fruity, and a little bit dry of this sour fruity. So probably green apples rotten on the concrete.
You should write for the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society labels.
The more you warm your Armagnac up, the sour the smells are.
Yeah. I still get a little bit of that. I don't know why. I keep picking up, in addition to the sour fruitiness and that, I get that orange juice, and I keep getting that caramel sweetness that kind of runs through it to me. It's like I said, like I don't know if it's a burnt caramel or like a cooked caramel. I don't know why, but I just keep picking that up in the middle of it.
This true caramel is also noticeable in there. but still, it smells so sour for me. On the first,
Too much for you?
yeah, too much for me. I'm afraid of it.
I wouldn't be too afraid, Pavel. I don't get the same sourness on the taste, and I don't know if you agree. I still get some of that fruitiness, but it's not as sour as the nose suggests, at least in my opinion.
I definitely feel it on my tongue also. I feel, yeah, I taste the fruitiness definitely, but my tongue gets stretched because of the sourness.
It's definitely like the least spicy of the three. Like the first one had those Christmas spices. The second one had, to me, a lot of ginger and a lot of spiciness like that in that profile. And this one is softer on the palate to me. There's not a ton of spices. I get a lot of that rich caramel, kind of sour orange juice, orange peel, and then maybe a little of that sort of apples on the concrete thing that you were talking about. A little bit, a touch of wood, but it's definitely also, it's not as woody as the first one for sure.
And definitely, I do not feel sweetness in here. I feel it's just fruity and sour.
Yeah. I definitely don't get like the kind of sweetness on the second one at all. Like it's not, like that one was the sweetest of the three. This one is more like to me, I pick up sweetness, but not like sugar. It's like a caramel sweetness, and it's a touch of it. Just sort of that richness.
Yeah, and also not very high, very, very high in ABV.
Higher than the first one and the second one?
The third one is more related to the second one, and the first one is a competition on its own. Number two and number three are both not wood driven, too much wood driven. In number two and number three, fruitiness is taken over the nose. The second one is the most fruity. For me, is number three the most timid in the nose now. It is not bringing forward many flavors to the nose. It is more enjoyable in the taste.
So, which ones do you want to test again? I think for Pavel, it is not the third.
Number one and number two, definitely.
Yes.
I go also for 1 and 2.
1 and 2, and Chris?
I would probably pick 1 and 3, but I'm happy to join the consensus and go for 1 and 2.
Okay, so 1 and 2.
Okay, and why was it for you the third one that was above the second one?
I think it's I think they're all really high quality Armagnacs. Like I don't think there's any, I don't think there's a bad one of the bunch. I think they're all great. I think it's, for me, personal preference is that I tend to like maybe darker, richer Armagnacs. And I think 1 and 3, while a little different, I think 1 was wood driven, spicier. 3 was more like a sour fruitiness. For me, they both had a rich quality to them that I enjoyed. I also really like kind of softer Armagnacs, ones that like when you roll them on the tongue, they just feel very, like there's not that I hate the spiciness, but I just really, I don't know, for some reason I love when they're just really soft on the tongue, that you get that fruity flavor without the spiciness. And so that's probably why I like those ones more than the second, which is really high quality, but is more of sort of, to me, is less rich, more of a sort of rock candy, fruity, sort of citric fruits profile that is great, but I just wouldn't reach for it quite as often. So, but I think they're all great. So I'm happy to move forward with 1 and 2.
I definitely
yes, Pavel?
I definitely need to mention that all of 3 samples got the alcohol really integrated. I definitely, from the first one, I smell some kind of acetone at the beginning, but on my taste, on my tongue, definitely all of the samples have integrated alcohol.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to go back to the number 1 now.
Very funny. The first one has now a lot of vanilla.
Yeah. I'm not getting as much of that. Like, it's definitely like as much as we noticed it changing in the first round. Like, I'm really noticing it now. Like, it's like less of that kind of wood varnish acetone, and I definitely smell that vanilla. That dried fruit is coming out too more. And the leather. Yeah, this is really good. I really like this one.
Because the first one is definitely the heaviest taste. It is full, it is strength. I need to wipe my mouth from the sample number 3 because my tongue is still stretched.
I like the thing I really like about number 1 is of the at least for me, of the 3, it is the most like I feel like it's complex and balanced. Like it hits like leather, it hits dried fruits, it hits spices, it hits wood. Like it kind of it balances all 4 of those profiles really nicely.
If the first one is making a travel through time, we are now around 45 minutes busy. The Armagnac is now very restful. Instead of wood driven, it is totally different now. The wood flavors and taste are now very low in smell and in taste. It is very enjoyable now. For you, if you say wood driven, I want wood. Yes, I love wood. If you smell and taste it now, okay, I think less wood, less rancio. The fruitiness is coming more now for Armagnac number 1.
Yeah,
where they were totally gone in the first round. Then is the question if they like fruitiness and you have to wait 45 minutes for it, or you take number 2 where the fruitiness is bringing you in the first minute. The fruitiness.
Although to me the fruitiness profiles are different too. Like for me again, it's still more of the dried fruits, more of the dark fruits in 1, and then 2 I get more of the fresh, like green banana, pineapple. And so I think at least to my taste, I guess it depends on what kind of fruitiness you prefer. And I guess this one that has the fruitiness in it has the balance of the leather and the wood and the spices.
Like after I taste both sample number 1 and sample number 2 for a second time, sample number 1 became more La Favorite Flibuste, definitely, almost similar. But sample 2 became to profile of a rum called, or distillery called Clarendon. Maybe you heard that.
Yeah.
So it's much more Clarendon profile. It became better. It scored more for a second taste.
The second one is now darker in taste than it was in the beginning. The darker notes are now hanging at the top of your mouth, where they were first here, on the lower part of your mouth. then I think you have to drink this Armagnac earlier than later.
Yeah.
Don't wait too long.
Yeah, I think they're both really good. I think I probably have a slight preference for number one, only because to me it balances a few of those flavors in a way that I like with the wood and the spice and the leather and the fruit. Number two is still really high quality. I think it's going to be like, I guess if you were going to give it to, like, I think if you were going to give number one to someone that never drank Armagnac, it would probably be great for people that are coming from rum or bourbon or like darker sherried whiskeys, like something that has more of a wood driven profile, and they would love it and they would really want to explore Armagnac. I think the second one, yeah, I think it'll be less of a crossover spirit in my mind. I think it's more the only real analogy I can think about is sort of agricole rum, at least to my taste. Sort of that sweet, citric fruitiness. And so, but it is really good too. I mean, I really like both of them. I think I have a slight preference for one, but that's just my taste.
And if I compare it for the whiskey drinkers, I think the number one is also for the whiskey drinkers very enjoyable. I think number one is for me the most enjoyable because it makes a journey through time.
Yeah.
First you have the wood. The wood is going slightly down and disappears after time. Then you get a totally different Armagnac. The second one is making a journey to a better journey through time. It starts very, very fruity and ending with, for me, the not so pleasant too dark notes that is keeping on top of your mouth instead on your lower part of your mouth. Because in your lower mouth there are the taste profiles that are very enjoyable. If you keep it long, if you keep feeling it in your side of your mouth, it is very, very spicy, very warm. I think the journey of number one is the most pleasant.
Yeah.
It brings for everyone. It brings if you like the wood, then you drink it at first. If you wait a little bit longer, then you enjoy it with a lot of fruit.
That's true. I agree with both of you. The number one is not so complex, but you definitely know what you want to drink after the first taste.
Yeah.
Taste it for the first time and you know you would like to drink. The second one, you are searching for a taste. If you are exploring, you can explore the whole evening with the sample number two. But I definitely prefer to know what I would like to drink, and I like the wooden taste.
Yeah, and I think the first one would be better. Like, I think it would appeal to a bigger audience. Like, I think you could to your point, Djurre, like, I think you could find in time, you can capture everybody that might like a different profile. I think, you get all the whiskey drinkers, all the rum drinkers. I think you could give that glass to anybody of spirit number one, and they would say, wow, I can see myself liking this. It reminds me of something that I like in whiskey or in rum or in bourbon. I think two is is high quality, but to the point you were making, Pavel, it's a little more, to me too, it was a little more closed off, a little harder to find things, and maybe less approachable for the general audience because of that. So I think they're both high quality. I think I personally have a preference for one, but that's a personal taste. I'm not besmirching the quality of two, but additionally, I think one is probably going to appeal to a larger audience, which, so it's something I would reach for in my cabinet to give to more friends. Then maybe I would too.
So number one.
Okay, tell us the secret.
We're ready.
You are ready?
Okay, let's put our fingers up. What should be the number one?
Number one. One for you, Pavel.
Definitely.
Number one, definitely. Okay, it's clear. So the ABV. It is. What's your opinion?
It's good. It is not burning, so it is good in balance.
Yeah.
In my point of view, something like 52.
52?
Yeah.
Not bad. And you, Chris?
Yeah, I would put it between maybe 53 or 53.5. Yeah, I would put it at that level. It's not you're in their 40 range, but it's not, a bruiser. Yeah.
So it's 52.9.
Oh.
So you were very close. And the year it's 1984 again.
Oh.
So 40 years old.
Right.
The domain is Sabine du Lot. I don't know if you know this name.
Mm.
It's a very small domain. And it's only Baco.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah,
this is Sabine du
sure.
Lot, and it's there's an interesting point. This domain was born in 1927. It was the first year of distillation, and they use the oak trees from the domain. And they still have in Demijohn the first vintage, 27, and some other years. And so I said it is Baco. The cellar is yes, you said it. It is a dry cellar. So the ABV is quite high. And the distillating was made by Dargelos. So they don't have their own alambic. And what can I say more? I don't know. If you have any question.
Do they produce also wine?
No, only Armagnac.
Okay.
So no flock.
And you said they don't have a
flock. They kept the barrels for a very long time because the lady you can see in the picture started to bottle in 2007. So 80 years after the first vintage. They kept all in barrels.
Wow. So was this
she's the first one to sell his Armagnac.
And do they add water over time, or
no,
is it
no, they didn't add water, never.
Wow.
The generation, is she the third generation?
Sorry?
Is she the third generation?
Yeah.
But the first generation is bottling.
Yes, she is. Her grandfather started to grow Baco, and then and she is the first one to sell bottles.
And the second one, what were the grapes?
The second one? No, the second one and the third one are secrets. We are not going to talk of them anymore. Forgot the two others.
I like it.
So this is okay. What about the price?
price. I think if I was able to purchase it for 120, I would be very happy and would get. I think that's very fair, and I would buy multiple bottles. 150, I think I would also happily. I think that would be sort of what I would expect is more like 150, and I would also be happy to pay that. So yeah, I would say maybe 150.
So the sample number 1 still reminds me La Favorite Flibuste. It is being sold for 350, and it is gone in 10 minutes, definitely. But definitely it is rum that has the name, the brand that lasts for at least 40 years. And if you go with Armagnac, you definitely need to attract new people. And you need to attract them probably with price, because there is definitely not a brand that is attracting people in a Armagnac world. Or sorry, I don't know the name or the brand. So I definitely think that the price below 150 should be a good one.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like if it were a different spirit, I would, given the age, I would think it would be a lot more. Like it would go for a lot more.
But the prices in the US are different from the Europe side. So
yeah,
they are much higher.
Yeah,
but they don't pay VAT.
That's right.
So,
always nice at checkout when we buy from European sites to see that the VAT come off.
it's good for you to buy in Europe.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, you will have a free bottle of this one.
Thank you.
So, for you, it's not a problem. And for those who want to buy the bottle, you can use a teeny website, amateurspirit.com. It will be available in less than 2 weeks. And well, thank you guys to be part of this fourth jury. And what can I say? I hope that you appreciate this new selection, which was made openly and transparently. So go on the website amateurspirit.com to buy a bottle if you want. It will be available for 10 days. And if it's not done yet, you can also sign up for the newsletter. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching us. And see you later for the next Amateur Spirit edition. It will be, I think, Calvados.
Ooh, I like it. Keeping it interesting. I like it.
So thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.